YouTube, welcome back to another video. My name is Motion FX. I'm a self-employed day trader slash entrepreneur, and today in this video I'm just gonna show you guys the setups I look for on a daily basis in the markets that makes me over $5,000 every single month. So let's get into the video and let's start giving some value. So basically the setup I look for is a support and resistance breakout, right? Pretty simple, right? So what I look for is a support, right? So resistance and support. If you guys don't know what resistance and support is, I have a free course linked in the description below where it will literally show you what support and resistance is. But here's a little rundown, right? So in the markets, if price is trending up, it's going to be making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Same thing if price is trending down, it's going to be making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Now those highs and lows are called support and resistance zones, or you can call them structure points. It's really, I mean, you can call them anything, right? But they're known as support and resistance levels, right? So when price comes up and creates a high and then push down from that high, then that's a resistance level, right? Same thing when price comes down and like bounces off of this level and push back up or creates a new low, it's a support level, right? So we have resistance, which is always going to be the high, right? So for example, what I like to say is resistance is going to be the roof of your house and support is going to be the floor, right? So resistance is always going to be on top, right? Because it's the roof of your house, and support is always going to be the floor because, you know what I'm saying? It's the floor, like it's at the bottom, right? So boom, we come into the market, right? For me, I come into the market at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I look for my entry at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, why I look for it at that specific time? Because at 9:30 is when the stock exchange market opens, right? So when the stock exchange market opens, there's a lot of volume that comes with that market open. So I like to catch my entries right on that 9:30 a.m. and all I just want to see is price to either break above the resistance level or break below the support level, right? Either direction, once it breaks out at 9:30, like it literally has to be at 9:30 or like from 9:30 to 10 a.m., right? It has to be in that 30 minutes. You want to get an entry in that 30 minutes. If price breaks out before that, right, then you just don't want to enter because that's obviously not following your rules, right? You want to follow your rules. So you want to make sure price breaks out anytime at 9:30 or after 9:30. If it breaks out before 9:30, sometimes it will create a new high and then it has to like pull back. Now once it pull back, that new high will become the new resistance level, and all you got to do is just move your level right here. And then now you want to see a breakout above this level at 9:30 or a break below this level, right? So pretty simple, support and resistance breakout at 9:30. That's all I'm looking for, right? So I'm just gonna give you guys a little rundown again, right? So all I'm looking for when I come into the market is I want to see a high and then I want to see a low to be created. That's all I'm looking for, right? So once I see that major high and that low created, then I'll mark it as my resistance level, right? So we have a high, we have a low. Okay, so we know we have support at the low, right? Support is always going to be the floor. And we know we have resistance at the high, which is always going to be the roof. Now all we want to see is price to either push up at 9:30 and break out right here, and then we would take our buy position, or we want to see price to either push down, right? Either direction, whichever direction we break out in at 9:30, then you just take it in that direction, right? But you have to make sure like 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is not going to be the same time for like everyone, right? So you have to find out what time 9:30 Eastern Standard Time is for you, right? You got to find out what time does the stock exchange market open for you. Once you find that out, then you put everything together with the strategy that I'm teaching right now, and you will see progress, right? So let's say, for example, right? Let's say, for example, we have resistance, we have support, boom, and at 9:30 we get that breakout, right? Let's say, for example, we got a breakout to the upside, boom. As soon as we get that breakout, I would enter on my buy position as soon as we break above that level, and I normally use a 30-point stop loss. Right now, depending on how big the range is, I adjust my stop loss to fit. But like, obviously, like I go for a 30-point stop loss most of the time. Like 80% of the time, I'm using a 30-point stop loss, right? So boom, 30-point stop loss, and I just average a 1 to 3 risk to reward and cash every single time. It's literally like the simplest strategy ever. You know what I'm saying? It's not too confusing. It's pretty plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? You want to see a high, you want to see a low, you want to see a previous high, previous low before 9:30, and whenever that 9:30 candle opens and it breaks out with volume, you take the trade and you will cash, right? It's that simple. So this is just a little example of how it looks on the live market. So like I said, if you guys don't know what support and resistance is, check out the free course linked in the description below. It's completely free, no cost. You don't gotta pay. Like, it's literally teaching you from A to Z how to become profitable, and it's teaching you my strategy and everything you need to become profitable for free. Like, if you guys are actually serious about trading, bro, check that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Because I know there's some people who watch my videos who actually like learn from my shit and actually like take trading serious, other than the people who just call it a scam or whatever. So this is just a little live market experience, right? So we come into the market at 9 a.m. every single day. So that would be right here on that yellow vertical line that I just marked out. And what I'm looking for when I came into the market is I just want to see a previous high and a previous low to mark as my breakout lines, right? My support and resistance lines. So boom, I came in at 9 a.m. and at the time we didn't really have a high, right? Because I mean, there just wasn't any clear high to go off of, but we did have a support level. So boom, I marked out my support level, and then I went over previous structure, and then basically in the course, all this is in the course, but since you guys are watching the video now, I'm just gonna explain to you guys why this is my resistance level, right? So support becomes resistance and resistance becomes support. Now, what do I mean by that? Here's a little example. So let's say we have a resistance level and we have a support level, right? And price just decides to break that level before 9:30, right? So we have resistance, we have support, and then boom, let's say price breaks out of that level before 9:30, creates a new low, right? Now this new low that price just created would be the new support level, and the recent support level becomes a resistance level, right? So that's basically what happened here, right? So boom, price pushed down, rejected, pushed up, pushed down, rejected, pushed up, and it came down, and then it rejected this area, created a new low, pushed up. So obviously at this point, right, we would have resistance right here, right? Because price obviously created a high right here and then broke through structure, created a new low, and then the previous structure would be the new high, right? So boom, we have a high, then we have support, which is at this low right here, and then boom, price broke below that low, right? So price disrespected this low right here. Let me make this a different color so you guys can not get confused. But boom, price broke through this low right here. As you guys can see, came down, broke through that low, disrespecting it before 9:30, and then created a new low and pushed back up, right? So this recent support level becomes resistance, and the new low becomes a support zone. And then the same thing happens again. Boom, pushed down, disrespected this support level, and then boom, we created a new low, and then we came back up, and then obviously the recent support level becomes a resistance level. So boom, now we have support and resistance. Now we already found one of our confluence, right? One of our confluence is obviously finding support and resistance. Now all we want to see is price to break above or below support or resistance at 9:30 a.m., right? So let's see. This is the 9 a.m. candle. This is when I came in, right? I marked my resistance, I marked my support. Okay, 9:05, we still haven't broke out yet. We did leave a little wick, but we didn't close above the resistance area, so I wasn't really worried about that wick. 9:10, we just started pushing down, 9:25, boom. At 9:30, as soon as that 9:30 candle opened, we pushed up and then broke through that resistance level. As soon as we broke through that resistance level, we entered on our buy position with a 30-point stop loss. As you guys can see, it says 30.87. 30-point stop loss, and we just targeted previous structure, right? So previous structure would be these highs right here, and obviously we caught a 1 to 4 risk to reward. That's how simple it is, guys. Like, it's literally the most simple trading strategy you can learn. Like, it's literally beginner friendly, right? I just 4x my money in literally 10 in 10 minutes, bro. It was probably less, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But I just 4x my money in under 10 minutes. So if I'm risking $100, I would have just made $400. If I was risking $1,000, I would have just made $4,000 in literally less than 10 minutes, right? This is literally the easiest trading strategy ever. All you have to do, find a resistance level, find a support level. It has to be at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? Or it might be a different time for you, but it has to be New York session, right? Stock market open or stock exchange open, right? And soon as that 9:30, 6:30, whatever time it is for you, candle opens and it breaks above resistance or support, all you have to do is just enter in the direction it broke out in, and you just ride the wave, and you will bank every time, right? It's literally simple, that easy. And yeah, if you guys want to learn this strategy and you don't really understand this video, bro, like I said, there's a free trading course linked in the description. Like, it will literally teach you everything from A to Z, step by step, to become a profitable trader, bro. So if you guys are interested and you guys are actually serious about trading, bro, make sure you guys go and check out that link in the description below. And you guys can join the Discord, where we live trade every single day from Monday through Friday. And we also have a one-on-one mentorship where I will personally teach you how to become profitable, how to get consistent payouts, and how to just master trading. You know what I'm saying? Trading is really not that hard. And I want to teach you guys how to trade, bro. I feel like everybody should start trading because it's so easy and so much freedom. So if you guys are interested, click the link in the description below, and I'm gonna catch y'all boys in the next video. Peace.